So you make your own holsters, you sell them. I have one on order. I see a lot of guys here at the conference walking around. Some of the instructors have them. If you have a holster with you, if you just go over it real quick.
Okay.
Your holster, what you like about it, why you did certain things,
okay.
And where they can order them, most importantly.
Okay. So first of all, this is called the Keeper. That really term was given to the holster by Craig Douglas. I was a little resistant to that. Having grown up with the last name of Keepers and hearing the, oh, I bet you're a keeper 1,000 times. So I was a little resistant to naming that, but with Craig's guidance, if you could say, that's the name of the holster. So I had some of the other holsters out there. I had some of the other popular Kydex holsters that are appendix that are on the market on order, much like you do one of these. And literally, to figure out if I could make this work, I took a belt and a gun, cleared Glock 35, and started figuring out how I could make that work. And I kind of figured out that if I could make the gun disappear, which I could do with my, putting it on, covering it with a shirt, and pressing the butt of the gun into my belly, if I could make a holster do that, I could conceal a Glock 35, which was that's my primary carry gun. I shoot 40 better than 9. I don't know why. I don't like it, but I do. So that's what drove building a holster that would conceal that gun for me. So what I started with was I needed a large wedge that you can see here to push the butt of the gun into the belly. I needed another wedge that you can see, the foam wedge here is removable and replaceable, to push the muzzle away from the body. Once the muzzle is pushed away from the body, because it's hinged on the belt line, it pulls the top of the gun or the slide of the gun into the body and helps it conceal much better. I've got a Glock 35 on underneath a piece of Under Armour. This is my normal everyday attire, and it works just fine. Some of the mods that I've made to this as it kind of grown this last year was I've incorporated slots in the belt loop so you can adjust a little bit of ride height and cant.
Okay.
You'll find that a lot of guys really like just a little, instead of the straight up and down, they like just a little forward cant. And when you're talking about appendix, 1/8 of an inch difference of where the cant is, where the muzzle end of the holster is in relationship of that crease in your leg and your center line, will make all the difference in the world, from the holster being quasi uncomfortable to very uncomfortable to I can't even really know that I have a holster on. And that was my goal, to make it to the point that you can wear it all day and not even know that you really have the thing on. The other thing that I wanted to be able to do was be able to get a full firing grip on the gun in the holster. If you can't do that with your holster setup, you're cheating yourself time, accuracy, and most of all, consistency, building that consistent draw stroke that we talked about, right? You can absolutely do that with this holster. It's now patent pending, which is another thing I probably should have said earlier. There's several aspects of this holster that are patent pending. So, kind of honor that, if you will. One of the other things that I've got is, you'll see the Velcro portion on the belt loop. That's for guys running a wilderness style belt. So when they loop the back of the belt around the tail of the belt, if it happens to hit this, they can stick that Velcro right there, and it holds the holster, holds the belt. But not only that, the belt now, that tail of the belt will hold the holster on the belt, and it won't allow it to kind of walk throughout the day.
Right.
So it's always in the exact same spot, building that consistency. The bottom of the holster, if you can see, is covered in Velcro as well, but it's rounded. This has a nice big radius here that the end of the muzzle is covered. So what that does is allow to have a nice big radius that's up against your body. Instead of two sharp edges of Kydex, even if they're rolled, if you're a fluffy guy like me, that Kydex will dig into that lower abdomen, and you can't do enough crunches to do anything about that. I mean, it's just going to hurt. So that's a big bonus. With or without the wedge, you get a lot of benefit from that. With the wedge, you get even more cushion there up against your body, and again, it's pushing the bottom of the holster out. I've got an adjustable tension system here that's a shimming system. One of the things that I wanted to get away from was like the little rubber grommets that most people use. I like to have a specific tension on my gun as it comes out, as it pops loose from the holster or goes into the holster. Once you get this set, you can adjust it to kind of like a loose, medium, and tight tension. Once you get that set by shimming with the flat washers, you can Loctite that down and you're done.
Okay.
You're good. You're good to go. So going back to the belt loop real quick, the hardware that I use to attach the belt loop I actually get from a couple of different screw manufacturers, and they have knurls on either side. So a lot of Kydex you'll get, and it's real hard to get those real tight because the back one will spin. This will not. It bites into the Kydex on the back side, and on the front side it does the same thing. So once you get that belt loop locked down where you want it, you can forget about it. It's done. It's not moving. So one of the really good things about that as well. That's a few. There's a couple other. I've got a little wedge stop here that I call this. That cups the bottom of the trigger guard so that as you hit the holster, there's not any flex in the holster and the gun moving. So then again, building that consistent full firing grip on the gun in the holster and allowing you to hit that at speed. So that's kind of the deal.
So that's the keeper holster right there.
That's the keeper holster. That's it.
There it is for a nutshell. For you guys, do you have anything else to add about draw stroke, consistency, the holster? Also add where people can order it and what type of guns.
To order this, interestingly enough, I do not have a website at this point in time. I know I need one. It's just been building holsters or building website, and I've chosen the building holsters route. Send me an email at keepersconcealment, that's all one word, at gmail.com. You can get a hold of me there, and I'll send you info on how to get on order list to do that. These things are $150 a piece plus $8 of shipping per holster. Originally, I thought, I'm going to charge more money for it. That way, I'll build, 4 or 5 holsters a month. People won't have to wait for them. Yeah, it didn't turn out to that. I have 20 people a day order them, so I'm behind. But we're working on that. I've got a couple of things brewing that we'll see how that turns out. As far as the draw stroke goes, I'm a big fan of a 4-count draw stroke running from strong side, or literally a 3-count draw stroke running from appendix. That's one of the other things I really love about appendix is you skip part of the draw that you would normally do from 3 o'clock, and it makes the appendix faster. On average, you gain a 1/4 second just like that going to appendix. 1/4 second's a big deal in the real world.
It is.
So consistent anchor points is something that I really like to talk about in my presentation. It's the fact that I want this hand to clear the cover garment and come to a specific spot every time and develop an anchor point, if you will. If you've ever shot any archery stuff, you'll understand what an anchor point is. But my anchor point here is this part of my back of my forearm up against my pectoral muscle. And then I'll end up with a full firing grip on the holster, full firing grip on the gun in the holster. From there, I bring the gun up underneath my dominant eye and drop that and then meet. That's actually 3 of what you would normally see, but this is basically count 2 for the appendix guy, and then press the gun out. I'm really big about bringing the gun up to the eye target line and then pushing the gun out. I think for defensive shooters, most all of us are in here defensive shooters, it creates some latitude when we're around cover, around vehicles, around anything that we might have to get the gun up and over. It also puts the gun, the front sight, in our eye target line much quicker and longer than bringing the gun straight up in kind of a straight lining draw stroke.
Right.
It's much better for a low percentage target or a small target at distance. But if it works for a small target at distance, it's going to work that much better for a big open target at speed up close. So, because you're drilling that consistency in.
Right. Once again, I'm Zephaniah Thal. with Spencer Keepers. We're at the 2013 Rangemaster Tactical Conference, and we're promoting a safer community through the responsible training of armed citizens.